Today we are going to put a few more accessories on the RoadRunner bus. Number one is going to be a tire pressure monitoring system. This system has 6 sensors, came on it. I got it from Amazon, where I get just about everything. It wasn't that expensive. I'm going to say about $140. And we're going to try to get this installed today. So that's the first system. The second system we're going to install today is our backup camera system. I just finished reviewing the instructions for the Time 8 TPMS tire monitor systems, and let me go through with you what I learned. It looks from these instructions that this is very, very easy to install. We've got the quick installation guide, which is right here, and as we go through this, it goes you step by step. As I go through the box, we have the dust covers. These are to put on the sensors after you install them. These go on first, and then they fold back over the sensors to keep them nice and clean and dry. We have the actual Time 8 monitor. That's the monitor itself. This is the solar, so while it sits on your dashboard, it recharges, which is kind of nice. So we'll be getting that hooked up pretty soon. We've got charging cables and backing nuts for each sensor, and these little O-rings are for if we ever do need to change the lithium batteries in the sensors. It gives you O-rings. This is a little pad, go on your dashboard, sticks on, which then this Time 8 monitor will sit on top of it and supposedly keep it from sliding around. We'll see how well that works. We've got a repeater, which is kind of nice. It says in the instructions that you may need to use a repeater on longer rigs because of Bluetooth and RF limitations, but it does have the repeater in the box, so that's nice. You don't have to actually buy a repeater. There's one there if you need it. I think when I install it, I'm going to try it without the repeater and then go from there. And then we have our sensors. L1 for the left front tire, R1 for the right front tire, L2 and R2 are for the rear inners, and L3 and R3 are for the rear exteriors. So let's show you how big these are to give you an example. These things are super duper tiny, which is kind of nice because I was a little concerned about what it was going to do to the balance of the tires to add weight to them, but these are really tiny. They go on the valve stems, so they shouldn't change the performance of the vehicle at all. So I'm kind of excited about this. I'm going to go ahead and try to install it. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about is the inner rear tires getting to those stems. It's always something that I kind of worry about, and that's the thing on this job. So we'll take some continued video as I'm putting this thing on, and then we'll fire it up, and hopefully it'll work nicely. See you soon. Today we are at Discount Tire, and we're getting prepared for our long trip in about 2 weeks, where we're going to Coeur d'Alene and then going to Trent Forest. We'll be gone for a couple weeks, probably 1,500 miles. So I decided before we go, a little peace of mind, put all new tires on the RoadRunner. So you can see we're go ahead and installing them now. Taking a look at the brake pads, those are all looking in good shape. The brake discs, and we'll get these new tires on. We'll show you the monitors for the tire pressure, and we'll see you then. I wanted to show you the sensors for the tire monitoring system. So here they are. They're all labeled. This one is R3, which is our rear outer on the right side. You can see there's a dust cover here that goes over. There's a locking nut right there, and then the monitor. And then you just slide the dust cover back over the monitor, just like that. And that's all there is to it. Then the tire gets mounted back up, and it will read inside the motorhome, and we'll show you that readout once we get them all back on. Okay, once they're installed, you just spray a little water on them, make sure they're not bubbling at all, and that checks to make sure that there's no leak. And as you can see, this young man did a great job. He's a good sprayer, and no leaks. Here is the receiver that goes inside the bus, and you can see it's got the front tires, the rear tires, and then it swaps to the outer rear tires. It's got the temperature that the tires are running at, as well as the pounds per square inch. There are alarms on here, so through the menus you set up the alarms. I have the pressure alarms set about 15 pounds less than I keep in the tires, and I have the temperature alarm set at 150 degrees. I came up with that from looking up on the internet what the most you should run your tires at. So there you have it. I take this and I will put this up on the dashboard right here, and that sticky thing works really well, and it doesn't obstruct my field of view at all, and it gives me really good peace of mind as far as what's in the tires. So you can see that's there. I've got my control center down here for my backup camera. There's my backup camera, and we're all set to go. There you go. We are also going to install a camera backup system today, so I can watch the trailer when I'm towing the bike. Try to get a good shot of it. This is what we're putting in. It's an Autovox, again. Got it from Amazon. Was not very expensive, and we're going to get that installed today too. So when we're done, we'll have tire pressure monitoring while we're rolling down the road, and we'll also be able to see behind the bus a little easier. Stay tuned. So the Autovox system came with a license plate camera system, and as you can see, the license plate holder is pretty low on this bus, and I wanted to be able to see behind the bus better. So I decided, instead of mounting it down there, I would mount it up above the door. And as you can see, it's mounted right up there. Let me get a little closer. And it's got an adhesive back. I don't trust adhesive, especially when it gets up to about 100 degrees and we're traveling down the freeway. So I went ahead, used the adhesive back, but then went ahead and screwed at least one side. I'm going to screw the other side in as well, so we have a nice positive connection of the door. So as you can see, it's up there. It swivels up and down, the actual camera lens itself. So now that that's up, I think to pair this, you just turn the unit on and it pairs automatically. So let's go in the cab and see how that looks. Here we are in the cab, and here is the little monitor for that camera system. So you see it's got a sticky back and an easy disconnect, and there you go. And all you do with this, apparently, after reading the directions, is take the AC plug it in. Let's go ahead and do that. This is an always hot on this, so you can see, I don't know if you can see the red light that came on, but as soon as I plugged it in, Autovox, oh, look at that. It woke up, and there it is. Pretty darn, that's the simplest thing I've ever installed in my life. So, there you have it. There's the picture. Looks pretty good. Looks like I'm getting some really nice coverage behind the, behind the van. And I think once I connect the suction cup, and I'm not gonna, again, in the heat that we're experiencing, I find these suction cups don't work real well. So I'm just gonna put a little epoxy right here where I want it. And then this will just sit right there all the time. And that's exactly where I want it. Now to operate this, there's a little button on the side of the device. Right, let me show you where these buttons are. There they are. The bottom one, when you touch it, it turns the reverse camera on for 45, 60, or 90 seconds, whichever you have it set on. And then the other two buttons are to adjust different things on the menus. So let's go look at those. Here's the center button, And you can see from the center button, we have, let's get the glare off here. See, this is not a very professional video because it's me. There we go. We'll just push that button, and here's our menus. And we can link up another camera, so we can go 2 cameras, the brightness and contrast in the center there, different connections, the timeout, the guard grids, and the reset. So that's really simple. Camera 1, camera 2, you can see that. And then the top button, unless you're in the menus, the top button doesn't do anything. The bottom button is what actually toggles this thing on and off. So if I were to go my full 90 seconds and the camera shut off and I wanted to turn it back on, I could just hit this bottom button. Or if I'm trucking down the road and I just want to see what's behind me for 90 seconds, I can just hit this bottom button. So I'm pretty impressed with this little device. It took me all of, without the screw in the camera in the back, but that really took 5 minutes. So it took me all of 6 minutes to set this baby up.